Welcome to Vintage Coin-Op Restorations and Roccola's 1934 Army-Navy. Well, here is another one done. If you watched our videos, we just finished one up probably a month ago. And here is the last one out of our shop. If you've been following us on Facebook or through our YouTube channel, you might have seen this particular one come in, and it was out of a Roccola cabinet, but if you remember, the edges all had about an 1.5-inch rail on it. Not sure if it was original, which it really looked like it was, or someone put it on there. Nonetheless, it's not the most common one, and that's not what my client wanted, so we opted to rebuild it and make it just like the photograph, the advertising for the Army-Navy. Kind of a side note, but on the legs, a lot of people are always calling if we're going to make any more legs. We do from time to time, but a lot of the problem is everybody wants to crank these legs down, and they crank that bolt down, and just by looking at the angle of it, it's so common for it to snap right there in the center. And it's normal. It's a piece of wood. That's what it wants to do. So when you crank these down, don't go too tight. Unfortunately, it is kind of a dainty machine. You know, for something to be out in public, again, these were never made to look pretty, to not, you know, they made these to make money. The games are hard, and overall it's a gambling machine is what it is, because that's what it was all about. Though it does say up on top here, for amusement only, a game of skill, all balls must be played. But when it comes down to the whole point of all these tilted, score void if tilted, if you're playing by yourself, you're playing the game, you're not worried about being tilted. But that's why you had these tiltings, so the clerk could come up and say, okay, you didn't tilt it, you have a certain amount of points that needed to get, let's call them skill points, 10 or 20 or 30, and that was the multiple of 5 cents or 1 cent depending on what game that you had. So that's what it was all about, and just an incredible mechanical machine. Obviously you've been watching this video, so you saw the insides of this machine. A lot of time goes into tweaking these machines, and even when you're all done at 100%, sometimes they run 100%, but sometimes they don't. So you just sometimes have to give it a little kick. Part of the problem is, if I could have found a same size ball that weighed a little bit more, because there's so many things that make this mechanical machine work, and it's all about weights and springs. And the biggest thing is making this ball go back and forth on this track with an original chain that you have to tweak, you have to bend, so every single link is perfect. And of course, I'm not perfect. I've tried, but I did my best to make this chain work right. And depending sometimes where that ball lands on that particular link, sometimes it just doesn't want to move, so you might have to give it a little nudge, and it will move the way you want to. Not the best answer, but there's not much you can do about this unless someone out there makes a brand new chain like that, and I've tried several of them, and this is the only one that's really going to work for it. So all the metal here has been nickel plated. Also, if you remember the original video, the ball track itself was completely deteriorated. Somebody riveted it, and so we ended up having to make a new one, the best that we could possibly make. I have the glass off, so we won't get any, try not to get too much of a sheen, but right now it's pretty It's pretty shiny, so if you are getting some reflection. We'll take a quick peek inside. Though this is not the original coin mechanism for this machine, Army Navy has a pretty unique mechanism, and they're usually broken. And they're broken because they're all made out of pot metal. So we have a coin mech in there. Sorry it's so dark in there. But basically that's what you see. Of course, we have a coin box that I forgot to put in there. We have a brand new coin box that sits inside there. As you can see, that's where those little brackets hold it back. We'll put that back in and close her up. Well, enough talking about this machine. Let's play it. Well, here we go. Another key feature that I like to use are Buffalo nickels. These coin mechs, at the time, this is what there was used, the Buffalo nickel. So the modern day nickel has a lot of ridges on them. These are nice and smooth, and probably for best gameplay and ease of using the coin mech, get yourself some Buffalo nickels. It'll make it a lot easier. So here we go. For 5 cents, we're going to get 12 balls. So let's roll. Now, when you pushed your money in, you have to wait 4 or 5 seconds. In that first part of my video where you saw me pushing in the gas shock underneath the play field, what's happening is it's allowing the time for the relays, these score reels to rewind all to 0, and then when that's done, it allows the ball to drop, and when it drops, it tells you it's in the first quarter. So we could play this game all day long, but we're going to kind of cheat. As I push this up, we had the action of the football come up to the top. We have the ball in the shooter, so if we wanted to, you can pull back and shoot the ball, but we are going to cheat, and we're going to show some action here. So let's go for 40 yards. Goes to the second first quarter. We'll do it again. Now let's try, there we go. Scored 6 for Army. Now we're going to do something different. And let's go up on top here. And they call this thing called a skill shot. What's a skill shot? Well, basically it's saying that if I get it in the Navy, I'm going to get 60 yards. Or Army 60 yards. But this is kind of cool because watch what happens really neat. As I roll it down, it flips. I gotta come down fast enough, but what it was, we did hit the Army, so it came around, scored a point for the Army, and because each time you call the ball up, you load the spring, and that's why that ball popped right back up on top there. So we're going to call it up again, and in fact, every time I did that, now this ball is loaded. So let's try, oh, this is something pretty cool. Let's go for the Army, and we'll go 40 yards. Okay, now, up on top here, we can get kick for goal, okay? You're not going to get your full points. I believe you get 3. So here we are. We're going to put this in here. I'm not sure if you saw that, but when the ball goes in to the kick for goal, this little arm here moves, allowing the ball to come around here to score 3 points. Okay? Pretty cool. Let me show you what I meant by the ball is loaded. So like right now, if I were to, let's say, okay, because we're loaded right now, if I were to take this ball and drop it right down, it should come right back up. Because we call the ball up, it pulls the spring back, and that's what I meant by loading. Pretty cool. Alright, so, and there's also, you can go for 60 yards. for one, or you can do I'm sorry, Army. What are some other key things here? Oh, up on top we have the mystery ball. Now this particular hole has one pin here. I've seen it with a pin here. I've seen it with a cage. I have seen it with a cage on the bottom. So there's a bunch of Army Navies out there, and it seems to be each one is a little bit different. And I think that might be just because of the operator. It might have been something in the game that you got an extra thing to make the game easier or make it harder. So again, it wasn't about the game, it was about making money. How much money they wanted them to make, let's make it hard. So this is what this is a mystery play. So what it is if you can hear it, it's a bunch of pinballs. I'm sorry, not a bunch of pinballs, but a bunch of pins. So it goes back and forth. And so it said mystery, you got 60 yards. But here, well, why didn't it go in 60 yards? Because depending on where that ball sits on the chain and where it's at, because if it's over here and it pops out, if it's over there, like I said, each link counts as a possible yard. But what happens is, depending on when this thing shoots out on exactly which link it lands on, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So we still have, let's keep on rolling here. And now we're going to do another 40 yards. Pops in, pops it up. See, exactly. As it shoots there, this little deflector is supposed to stop the ball to hit in there directly, but it doesn't always work out that way. Okay, so let's score a touchdown for Navy. And I'm going to come over here and show you. Here, let's cheat here, and we will bring the ball, let's say right there. And now I'm going to go up here and put the ball in the kick. But I want to show you the operation, what happens here. And now we're at our 11th ball. Call it up, and let's just do 40 yards of Navy. Now we're at our 12th ball, end of game, but you play your 12th ball. So here we go, and we are going to do, let's do 40 yards Army. Oops. 60 yards for Army. As I put in that last one, you can remember the ball was over here. Didn't quite make it to our goal because it wasn't the full 60. That would make it go into the actual scoring area. Well, there you have it. Rockola's Army Navy. Larry, this one's for you. I hope you're very pleased with it. Like I said, a lot of time, and I hope you enjoy it. Love to see its new home. A photograph would be great. Appreciate it. If you have one of these machines for sale or you need one restored, please give us a call. We're located in Chicago, Illinois. Our phone number is area code 630-624-7466. Thanks for watching.